did some of my master's studies in international relations, and I'm kind of looking to do my finish it off in counseling here in the near future. I do a lot of stuff in our community. Videos on Facebook. I'm engaging in the Word of God. I tell people about the translation of what the Bible says and how we can know about it in our history and Black Christians. I like engaging with different civil organizations like the city council here. I addressed them in the issue of violence almost a year ago and how maybe we could work with them. I work with the police here and be the least amongst us. And, I have a thing where I feel like Yes, I'm here. In each community, there is a couple of gangs. There's one called the AP Gang, Africa Pride. There's one Trip Set. There's another one called Triple S, South Sudanese Soldiers. There's one called MJ. There's a lot of different ones, and um, the people that started them are what you could say the first generation. The first people like me who from Africa came to the U.S. Some of us grew up in hoods, so we saw that the people that you grow up around here in your neighborhood, you guys kind of click. So you form a gang in school, you're hanging out. This is how kind of the African culture or the African kind of has been adopted. And now the people who are a bit in 30s, early 40s that started all of these gangs, the OGs in the gangs, now they're turning around and doing what some of the people in the rap game do. Where they stop all that. They're talking about wearing suits. They're talking about business and portfolios and going to school. But these young cats, that's all they know because that's their role model. Because again, you have to break down the family, which we were kind of discussing, Michael and Stephen and I the other day. That if we fix the family and get people to have better role models, like big brother, big sister, catch them outside, then these disciplines. And now what happened? All these kids are like, well, if they don't care about it, screw it. I'm gonna go on the street then. Let me bang. If that's what you guys don't care about us, then screw you too. I'm gonna steal from you then. And this is what's happening now. So all these kids, these young kids, the kid that was playing basketball the other day, he got caught up in it because there's no other person telling him to not do that. And you see, now it's up to us elders, us talking about it in these platforms, us community leaders, to now create those programs. I think in our own communities, in the church where most people go, in the schools, engaging with different parents, telling them like, look, you don't want your child in the street. We got this going on at the community center. We got this going on at the church. All our money, we'll compile them together and create these things for these kids so that they can pass. Yeah, yeah, it was terrible. It was terrible. If I if I could interject real quick, I think on the topic of kind of how this toxic lifestyle that we have adopted that has essentially been presented to us as like cake. I think I think one of the main reasons that some of these kids identify with it is because, I mean, if we get biblical, it's all about that sin nature. Stop feeling good of maybe getting turned up, getting intoxicated, feeling like you're on top of the world, rebelling against authority sometimes. I know when I kids, but it's unfortunate that this kind of mindset that has got people going around shooting each other is so prevalent in our community. I think that's what we got to tackle. And the food college and maybe even doing basketball overseas in China. But when he was getting up there, nobody was telling him on how it's good to have a good diet, what kind of workout, what kind of environment he should stay away from. There was nobody who was telling him to be in these types of good ways of thinking to prevent him from being in the street. He ended up getting with some of his friends who he was hanging out with him. You know, he's a good kid, but because of the people around him and the mindset that was prevalent in our both of our communities, that's I believe the root of the problem. You know, we have to create an avenue where these children can find outlets and feel appreciated, not beat down by everyone just because they can't say black people do that. Who are these people in Timbuktu in Egypt? People, the Garden of Eden started in Africa. We can get into history, but we have such a great DNA memory in us that all we have to do is tap into it and get people on board with some of the things that we're doing, have a dialogue like this, and opening those platforms for us, you know? I think a couple of hundred as a whole. I think it's something like 200,000. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say it. Guys, they are willing to take the Africans that are willing to submit to what they want to do. That's why you have all these West Africans going, all these Nigerian actors, their guns in the semi-auto, just to make them submit to the language that is English. Once that happens, throw them an English Bible without telling them the history of it, and then you tell them that there's a white Jesus, that everybody's white here, but when in fact the people who were the early church fathers of the Catholic Church were from Africa. They were who wrote all of these things. There's no white person in the Bible, in the Old Testament. It's all white people. Even the Arab Bill cousins, even them, they know where they're actual Hebrew. One of the imams said, "I have no problem with Israel. I only have a problem that they came back white." See, these people know who we are. It's just a fact of doing that and collecting ourselves and getting on our stuff and getting back home. That's it. That's right. That's right. That's right. It is. In fact, there's a thing that was put into legislation. I believe it's through the UN, where in Israel, that if you're an original Hebrew, you have a right for resettlement. So if you can identify yourself as the original Hebrew from the 12 tribes of Israel, going through history, you have a right to be taken, and you have the opportunity to have all your expenses paid and resettled back into Israel. So now you got all these black people in America, North America, South America, the islands, Asia, in parts of Europe. Everybody goes back home. We fulfilled the prophecy of Deuteronomy where it says we are all broken up, taken away in ships to our different lands, all separated, stripped of our heritage, and taken into now what is called the synagogue of Satan, with all these people saying they're Jewish, but they're not. And then we have been told that our own culture, the people up in the beginning, it's all like mind games they're doing. You see, so now you have droves of people who say, no, we're the real, keep saying, no, this is the white man's culture. And everybody else in the other part of the world is like, no, actually, you guys, that's your house. And the Bible tells us that once the people of Israel humble themselves and go before God on their knees and say, God, we're sorry for doing all this idol worship. And the reason we came out of Israel, increasing ourselves in knowledge, being awoken, like you guys are talking about, waking our brothers and sisters up to be like, hey, this is our lineage, this is in our blood DNA. It's become more of like a proxy war. Nobody's going big wars that'll happen in a while. Because now it's just getting into, you can just destroy someone financially, you can restrict their movements. You can't get a visa, you can't get an ID, you can't go overseas, you can't get a plane ticket, and your movements are restricted to the land that you're in. Even to the point where you won't be able to buy food unless you follow the rules of the land which you're in. You know what I mean? Have put in. Because there's a loophole in everything. You just have to know the right person who studied it.
that these things will happen. And there was these different plagues happening. There was a people across the land. They said, well, go. Here, take your stuff.
Because they were plagued. Because God helped them out, right? The Egyptians didn't turn sword against.
It wasn't just the fire, it was a combination of things. It was a combination of famine.
Firstborn.
Combination of famine, combination of crash,
Right.
crashes. There's a whole bunch of things. They don't tell me that was back then. And they told me that was back then. So that's the financial crash.
You know,
Yeah.
Name coronavirus, and for us to actually believe it, okay, yes, you're gonna get sick. Yes, you know, this thing that's gonna happen to us, but at the same time, it's like this, whatever this is, it shouldn't affect.
Collectivize that, and then we can maybe use that with to South Sudan, all those millions that we get, and jumpstart something together.
Have South Sudan go over and go to Ghana, go other places and get the oils, get the diamonds, states. We buy land, we buy land, we can start getting the uranium and all that stuff. You know, we can
Vibranium.
There's a kind of here in America. So the relationship of American blacks and of African blacks, they put it in our face.
Yeah.
And they using it like almost like
They had different tribes in
out.
Wakanda.
Yeah.
They all Wakanda had different tribes, and they came together
Yes.
when it was trying to defend Wakanda.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
you know what's interesting is
That's why it's important for us to communicate with proper communication. We have the conflict resolution skills needed, and then the understanding to build some type of financial wealth. And you know, I just want to mention this. Like I did my counseling, I used to counsel individuals that were in gangs, and they were just telling me like, man, I ain't worth shit. I ain't worth shit.
That's sad.
Yeah, and so one of the things, and then I thought about the things that I heard inside the household was some of the parents would say, "You ain't shit. You ain't shit." And so you're regurgitating these things.
Wow. And I feel as if like, because I remember we was talking about jail a little bit, and I feel as if like we need to find a way we can reach the people that are incarcerated, because these men, women, you feel me, are needed and are part of the mission of what we're
Them
trying
are
to
the
do.
warriors. Some of them
Oh
are
God!
warriors.
And the thing is, I remember this boy named Charlie. He's amazing, the artist. He's amazing. You feel me? And he was he was put away for a little bit, and he told me that he heard my music, from 9547 not too long ago, and he was basically, encouraging the other guys. Oh, well, yeah, but he was just encouraging the other guys. Even if somebody's evil, I don't care. It's like you can transform that just because there still are people. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care what anybody's evil.
I got a question though. Okay, how many people of African descent are incarcerated right now in America?
I mean,
About 2 million.
can we
Because they said about 3 to 4 million that are incarcerated. We make up 40% of the population, and we're on 13% of the population. But I'm just saying, if you got 2.5 million people that are locked up and that are African American or African descent or whatever, or brown, whatever, and they're locked up, compare that to how many people we got in the army. So how many people do we have in the army? Only 3 million people are in the American Army, Navy, Marines, and Air Force. Armed forces. Only 3 million. And just imagine if we open up those prisons and some of those awards, we would have this many armed forces as the American population.
So in the scriptures, it says that Jesus, when he did that, he was
amongst this society. But the society didn't love it because it was already it looked like an animal. It was ugly. It was ugly. So what they did, they formed a lynch crew to go lynch it. So they don't watch these movies like that. Like The Mummy. The Mummy is another one. but let's go back to the Dr. Frankenstein before I get out. You have to remember, everybody's mad at the monster, but they forgot about Dr. Frankenstein, the one that created.
Oh, damn.
And then you have to think about the mummy. The mummy was created, the mummy was destroyed by the dark soul wrapped in bondages. Dark soul wrapped in bondages. The bondages around it, that's the things that kept it oppressed. So think about that. And it made it dark. It made it hate people. That's why it was killing. So then you got to remember the movie Dracula. Dracula was another important thing that we need to understand. That was understanding about it. Because remember the Bible said that if you live in this world, you have to be a part of it. So remember, Dracula's greatest gift was he couldn't do nothing to you unless you were when did we always act up? At night. When
Wow. What the fuck?
See, they've been putting this stuff.
That's funny.
These are metaphors. These are symbolic things. They've been putting them in our face, and we just have never paid attention to it.
You got something I just want to say this real quick. And this is the reason why I thank God that we did get to America, because for this to even happen, this conversation, I'm already know where it's going to head to. You know what I'm saying? Even though we're talking, it's just as long as we have this type of consistency, I already know where it's going to head to. Like, the revolution on my blood. Damn.
You know, yeah. Yeah, you know, I want to.
Lamar, what you
Yeah.
say, Lamar?
Yeah, I was just gonna add. You know, with all of this, we as people of God, right? God always idols, forgetting about Him, cursing Him. He's always willing to come back and forgive us and fix us and bring us back to our land. The only reason we lost our land is because we disobeyed and went into idol worship and forgot about it. Solomon was a great dude until he started doing idol worship, right? All these different things in Israel, our ancestors, you could say, all of them messed up because they were down.
Can we go back to Solomon? Solomon's story was profound. Solomon's story was very profound because it wasn't just that he started operation. It was that he was given a strict indictment. He didn't want the same blood, or he didn't understand. Even though he was wise, he didn't understand what it meant when David had blood on his hands. When God said He wasn't going to let David build his temple because he had blood on his hand. The reason why David couldn't build the temple because he had blood on his hand, because David had a man killed for his possession of his wife. That was bad blood.
Yep.
It wasn't because David was warned doing what God told him to do. It's because he had a
Going to end up in the same mess that our ancestors was. The only thing they didn't do is they didn't collectively put God first and be like, God, this is our mission. Here's what we're doing. It happened. Nobody took the sword to Him. Nobody uprose. It was God who had them. Because they said, all right, we're going to worship you, God. We're your people. Let's go. Only then did they get punished when they messed up and built an idol and went against God in the desert, right? So I think that's just something I just wanted to point out for us to remember is we got to include God in this, or we're just going to end up in the same circle.
I get what you're saying, but it seems like maybe our demise is we do worship a lot of idols. We worship Oscar, Emmy, Global, NFL, Super Bowl.
yeah.
A big Christian, and over time, when I was a Christian, being younger, like I was cool with it, but of course, there was some things that came to play with, discrimination. Like, what people like to be specific Christians, they focus so much on worshiping all day long, which is fine.
Jesus
but
on the cross, you ain't supposed to idolize.
He's always gonna be there, regardless of what you think.
Yeah, I think that the reason why the church failed is because of the inadequate.
Because they idolize, they started idolizing the cross and idolizing money.
Yes.
And
Yes.
why the church
Exactly.
is dying, because they make idols of man-made material. And we don't even look at it. All the offering they idolize, they make you idolize it to get into heaven. Yeah. So even have that cross up there, you bow before that.
Yeah.
That's idolizing it. It said in there, put no man before God. It didn't say put my son before me. It said put no man before God.
And then most of the people start worshiping the pastor, and the pastor loves the accolade.
Yes, exactly.
Even though he
Yep.
say, "Oh, you don't worship me, worship God," but he really wants you to, because as soon as you go against what he says, he send you a letter of recommendation to leave the church. What man can kick you out of God's house?
Exactly.
Yeah, they kick you out of God's house.
Yeah, yeah.
They send you a letter of
They do.
recommendation. We kick you out of God's house. So that means if you on
That's
pain,
right.
you got shot, you all shot up, and you sitting in God's on the altar, trying to get redeemed and trying to get prayer. Here come the pastor because you didn't like what he said. Oh, I'm sending here's a letter of recommendation. You have to leave the hospital.
You know, I just want
And you know what's funny about that is that if we look at our history, Pharisees, like, what are you guys doing out here talking about taking all these people's money, and you're going out here talking about you're fasting all day, crying, making a mockery of yourself, talking you're so holy, and you yourself have problems in your own heart, and you're out here telling people they can't come to church because you have a pastor who molests children in the Catholic Church. You have people who are dancing on money. What is Creflo Dollar dancing on money for? How is that going to help your cancer? How is that going to get you away from depression? Yeah. Yes, pastors. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And also,
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry I gotta leave out a little bit early, but you know, I just say this, that I have to believe in myself in order to believe in God. And the temple's inside of us, and that's the house. Yeah. And once we build the house
yes.
up, then grace is off. Then it is
But
your
we doing
heart
social
desire.
differences, and they making it
Creator, right?
and they making it scared.
Wow, and they know our power.
They know our power. With 2 or 3 coming together, so now that social distancing is there.
But if they're gonna do that to us, then we're gonna be, right? You know what I'm saying? Like,
And we also have the power of creating.
Yeah.
wow.
So if we keep creating, that also defeats the dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you
Amen.
think about this. Look at it's April. Look how it's snowing out here.
Come on. They controlling this shit.
Look at it. It's snowing out here. It's killing off a lot of these germs. Right now, the earth isn't healing. So I'm glad that we having these conversations. These are the conversations we need to be having. You can see as we sit there having these conversations.
More than once a year.
There's no difference between us. So I know
That's right.
how people don't see that. There's no difference between it. Only thing that lacks in between and that becomes in between it is lack of understanding of one another. And that can go not just because of culture. That can just be going from individual to individual. Man to man might not understand each other. That's why we have to get an understanding. So
This is like a relationship. Is what we start. We have to start courting each other, as far as getting to know what our likes and our differences are. Just like what Mike said, and then we can build onto that.
pass down the gift for pass down as an inheritance. So we need to understand. And the thing is about relationship is we got to stop being so fickle when it comes to relationships. Relationships only die when people give up.
Wow.
They never die if you're willing to fight. Our people have forgotten how to fight. Our problem is that we gave up quickly. We give up too quickly because we feel like we put in a couple of times. Maybe you might win the whole year and you say, "Oh, I gave him a chance. I gave her a chance. I gave her a chance." But maybe that's not the chance. Maybe you didn't really give him a chance. You had 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out the door. So you were just waiting for an opportunity to get out, to weasel your way out. We need to learn to fight again. And whenever time when something goes wrong, yes, there's going to be opposite the X side. A lot of us said equal on the zodiac side. And I think that once we realize that part, then I think we're able to move forward as a collective.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. Our differences, they might be many, but our goal is still the same. And we were talking about about us being in a war. Sun Tzu says you have to know yourself and know your enemy, because if you don't know yourself, our kids are dying every day. People are talking about they don't want to they cussing racism on a high, but one thing I think to piggyback on what you're saying is, yes, our differences are meet. Those things that bring us together are even greater than that, and those I think when we focus.
As there's in the movie Hurricane. There's so
Right.
You know what I mean? We you know, hate has put us in this prison. It put us in a circumstance that we're in. But love is what's like.
Yes, amen.
Add something. Well, I know you gotta add something. But like I remember, I think I was asking myself this, or somebody asked me this. Like, this question came up. Paul was like, how do you keep living? How do you keep, surviving? And my answer is love.
Let everybody go around the table. Lamar, let you go first.
Okay. And I'm glad to be a part of this thing moving forward with all you guys. It'd be great.
I was even passionate because I was like, okay, this is part of my issue too. So it's like I'm part of. So it's like, and also I want to say it's like for my community, especially we move forward and really better ourselves. Also, all communities at this point.
Well, one final thought. I'm just watching, but I'm gonna keep it 100%. How my opinion, my feelings is that as an African American, even though my counterparts don't say so, but I think they actually admire and look up to the Sudanese. I'm still, you as a nation and as a people, you are in this world. And we don't know who the hell we are, applaud y'all for even dealing with us and trying to help solve issues because we need
Man and woman on deck. Transgressing against your brother. We need to go back, reread those things, and embrace them with deep compassion. Once so we're talking. But we need to. We got a lot of work to do. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to happen overnight. So we got to be.
Yeah, like I was saying to you myself today, all I really need to collect myself is a good month anyway. So it'd be kind of like by the time all this quarantine stuff and all this stuff starting to die down, because I'm really working on, trying to get all these resources together, get myself in a place where I won't have to deal with not meeting deadlines, Because I remember back before me and our sister and the other, when we were working together, that we were trying to do something, but the people around us were always kind of flaking and things were not coming through.